yeah, so glad to be meeting you finally.
Thank
you for spending some time with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we wanted to hear your side of the story because Claire shared so much about how you've played such a critical role in making all of this happen.
Yeah. So I was the director of digital and social media for UFC for the last 3.5 years. Been with the company for 6 years, and when you get 70 to 100,000 of incoming messages a day across all of our social platforms, so it's kind of intense to be able to catch one in the feed that captures your attention. And I had seen that this YouTube video kept being published and tweeted at us, and it was tweeted to Ron, and it was tweeted to Dana and to UFC and to different fighters, and it just kept saying something like, I was inspired by this, that helped me and saved me from committing suicide. And of course, you read a headline like that and you're like, hold on a minute.
Right.
So I'm sitting at the office by myself at work one night, and I watched the video, and I am like, waterworks, just completely lost my mind.
Yeah.
And watched it because, there's a lot of people that you meet that don't have the right mindset to overcome the bullying.
Exactly.
You see so many people that have actually committed suicide because they're getting made fun of what they're wearing and things like that. And so when I was watching the video, and I'm thinking to myself, her parents, her dad Charlie specifically, in this video I'm learning that her dad was like, I don't know what else to do, but let's put her into mixed martial arts. Let's see what happens. And it was up to her to take and grasp that and take a passion with it, right? And then ended up being awesome and beating the boys and doing really well. And so it's like, not only did you find an outlet for her, but it's something she's really good at.
Yeah.
And being able to support her, and it boosts her confidence and her self-esteem and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
So I watched the video, and I think I reached out to you guys via Twitter or something, and started the dialogue, and I think it was right before Thanksgiving, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was over 2 years ago.
Over 2 years ago now. I called them up, and I was like, hey, I'm the person behind the Twitter account that you guys have been tweeting at, so I'm super inspired by your story. I don't really know what I can do, but let's just have this conversation and see what can happen. I mean, at the time, I didn't know if I could make an opportunity for her to be able to meet Rhonda, but I was going to try.
Right.
So I took the video, and I took it to Dana, and I showed it to him. I showed it to our PR team. Of course, we're all crying. And literally, not even the first minute and a half through this, Dana's texting Rhonda, you got to see this video. You got to see this video. So he's sending her the link, and he's like, fly her out.
Okay.
Fly her out to Vegas. So Rhonda was actually going to be a guest fighter at this particular event that she was attending, and ended up not being able to make it because it was too close to her fight. She was in camp, but Claire and her dad came out, got to experience their first live event. You met Demi Lovato.
Yeah.
You met a whole bunch of fighters.
Yeah,
and got to have just kind of the VIP treatment. I took her and I made sure that she met everybody. A lot of fighters were actually saying how much she inspired them. That they had been bullied themselves, and she's actually done quite a few interviews with some of these guys.
Yeah, you have.
And then we decided, and Rhonda actually invited her out to her fight in February against Kat Zingano, and also to Rhonda's post-fight party celebration with her chicken wings and beer, but Claire didn't have any beer. She had birthday cake. It was also a celebration because Rhonda's birthday was earlier that month, so this was, celebrating everything all at once.
Right.
So Claire got to be a part of that, and it was, that type of event, Rhonda's post-event is very close friends and family, so for Claire to have been invited to that was really, really cool. That she got to meet Rhonda then. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
And so to have been able to be a part of that and to bring that together, and meeting an idol, I mean, that sticks with you forever. Forever. This isn't something that you just are like, oh yeah, I met that person one day. That changes your life. And
that's what you've said.
This changes my life for the better. So, and it's one of those moments that she's still my idol. Even if I met her or not, she will still be my idol. So I met her, so now she's still my idol. I just started crying, and I'm probably gonna cry when she comes out and starts fighting. And I don't know. I think that's why I'm like, oh, the waterworks are already coming. So
and Rhonda and her family, they knew that Claire and Charlie were here. So we had actually organized, and Rhonda actually signed a autographed photo for Claire that we actually have just presented to her.
Very cool.
And I was like, I'm gonna cry, but I don't want to cry in front of a bunch of people that I really don't know, and be like, oh, that girl's kind of crazy and she's crying.
Yeah.
So.
But it's been awesome to see, what she's been able to do, even from that, taking it from MMA, and then you did powerlifting for a while.
And then I did my school wrestling, and then I did volleyball.
That's
and
awesome.
So yeah,
taking doing all the stuff with the interviews,
Exactly.
and kind of like starting to perfect that craft. And I was really proud. I got to see a little snippet that she was at Ultimate Media Day and
She did a great
sneaked in a
job.
question in there.
Yeah.
So how many kids can say they've done that?
no. I don't think anybody. I was only
Actually,
kid there.
Do you remember? So when they were in Vegas for their first event, it was actually also the MMA award show was filming that week.
Okay.
Oh,
And
yeah, I remember that.
so I took them to the award show, and then I got a text like at the last minute, like, "Hey, if UFC wins an award, can you go up on stage and accept it?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like I've done this the last 2 years,
Sure.
so yes, I can, but I wasn't prepared for that." And so I had actually texted back to the team that asked me to accept the award on behalf of UFC, and I said, "Hey, do you mind if I take this opportunity to recognize Claire and use this platform for that?" So Claire and I went up on stage together and accepted the award for Best Promotion for UFC. And I got to take that opportunity to basically say, and it's true, we do this for the fans. We do this to inspire people. We have athletes that have been through similar situations, and so it's really, really awesome for us to have a platform and athletes that are invested in making sure that they're doing whatever they can to keep these kids inspired and to be the best that they can. So, Claire got to be on television. It was broadcasted on TV.
Yeah, it was so much fun, and
so
I looked good. yeah.
Well, that's great.
So,
I mean, and
it's fun.
it's clear that the UFC has. I mean, they've done so much for Claire, and we're just here to really just kind of document it because we want it to be known that Claire, through her story of resilience, show the back. Yeah, the back. We got the resilience on the back.
Awesome.
Yes,
that's awesome.
And I think that this whole trip kind of just is a symbol of that you've done that, and then also what Rhonda's trying to do as well with her comeback fight.
Yeah,
as well.
so we have another thing in common. We have like so many things in common.
So many things.
So that's another thing and it happened like we have both resilience to like together.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not
You
at
guys
like
are
different
parallel.
times.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So thank you so much, Shanda, for
Absolutely.
meeting up with us
Absolutely.
and making all these things happen.
yeah.
Awesome.
You bet.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thanks. All right, on to the fights.
Yes.
Have fun.